Hey, what's up? Paul from Grindhouse Funhouse, and today I am back with another review slash entry in my Only on VHS series where, you guessed it, the movie's only been released on VHS. That is until a Blu-ray label like Kino Lorber or Mills Creek, or on the horror side, Scream Factory decides to possibly release it. But until then, the only possible way you could find them is I don't know, like flea markets, VHS Facebook groups, Amazon, eBay. Someone did a rip of it on YouTube. Any which way you could possibly get it, that would be the only way to watch it. And for me, it's really the thrill of the hunt, just trying to find those movies, some of them possible lost cinematic gems, who knows. And for the gem I'll be reviewing this time around, it is Deadly Force right here with Wings Hauser, Crazy Wings Hauser, released in 1983 from Embassy Picture. Let's watch the trailer, shall we?
Everybody wants a piece of Stony Cooper. The cons.
Go back to your nice big apple, okay?
The cops.
The day I took your badge was the last time I ever wanted to see your face.
His wife.
You just can't walk in here and take over again. You can't do that. You're not super cop anymore.
But somewhere in the shadows, the psychopath wants him dead. Deadly Force. Wings Hauser, the star of Vice Squad, is Stony Cooper. You don't call him in. You turn him loose.
You're dead. I don't carry a badge anymore, remember? And as you well know, I deliver.
This is real dynamite.
And it's a real gun.
Who can stop a killer when the law stops short?
What do you got so far?
Exactly
Do
nothing.
you have any leads? The guy used the same M.O.?
No, sometimes he uses knives. Sometimes ice picks, strangulation. I didn't say I'd help you on this.
When the cops can't and the courts won't, he'll give you justice.
Terrific.
You can't cool him off, scare him off, tear him off. You'll have to kill him off. Because when he goes out for vengeance, he goes all the way.
Johnny, no, we're not gonna make it! We're gonna make it!
The movie that takes you right to the edge and keeps right on going. Deadly Force. When nothing else will do.
So this was directed by Paul Aaron, who hadn't done much before that movie. He did one Chuck Norris movie back in 1979 titled A Force of One, which I did not know about for some reason. Somehow I'm a Chuck Norris fan, so I don't know why I didn't know. But I'm very curious to see it. It's about undercover cops being killed by a serial killer. And of course, the police department hired Chuck Norris, a karate champion, to try to figure it out, because that's what you do in that situation. You hire a karate champion, to solve crimes. About Wings Hauser, I didn't know about him, not that much, but before Deadly Force, I had seen Mutant, the movie he did right after, 1994. I saw him in Tales from the Hood, the great 1995 urban horror anthology that a new sequel was announced. In fact, it was shown here at the Fantasia Film Festival, which I sadly missed, but it comes out in October on Blu-ray. And he's basically, his filmography is a treasure trove of direct-to-video films. Just in 1990 alone, he released 8 movies, and I'm game to see all of them. He's clearly in the pantheon of 80s and 90s B-movie legends. His leading lady in this is Joyce Ingalls, who was a model before doing a few movies, one of which was a Sylvester Stallone star titled Paradise Alley, which apparently a little something happened while they were filming. And there's Paul Shenar, who played the Bolivian drug lord in Brian De Palma's Scarface. So Wings plays Stoney Jackson Cooper. That is such an awesome name, by the way. A former helicop who got kicked off the force because he does not play well with others. He's now a private detective. There's a serial killer on the loose, murdering people in LA, and each victim has an X carved on their forehead. That's why they're called X-murders. How clever. The killer's last victim was a friend's granddaughter, so he comes back to LA to help out and to bring the killer to justice. We first see Stoney in New York, where he lives now. Right away, they set him up as the go-to guy when crazy shit goes down. One of his friends calls him up and says there's some dude strapped with dynamite all over his body in his abandoned warehouse where he wants to blow it up. He's some sort of Puerto Rican revolutionary. It's the early 80s. And obviously he goes to the warehouse, goes in there, he out crazy the dudes with the dynamite, and diffuses the situation. And we just know then that we're in really good hands, in crazy unhinged good hands with Stoney. In that brief New York setup, there's a cameo by one of the Golden Girls playing a taxi driver, which that was so random, but really fun to see. Basically, the first 25 minutes is just to set him up going to LA, and while he's there, that everyone cannot stand him, friends, his ex-wife, his old captain, who's a by-the-book cop. He meets up back again with his ex-wife, where she is the one, she's a journalist on the case. She does not like him being back in her life at first, but obviously things will change throughout the movie. You know how that goes, you know the drill. So as an early 80s action cop thriller, it has a really good pace. I wasn't bored once, or look at my watch, has really snappy dialogue, so it got my attention. It's in the same realm as Dirty Harry or Death Wish, so you know what you get yourself into. Obviously, it's the Wings Hauser show, who gives a wired, manic performance. It's very captivating. I know that Vice Squad, which came out right before this movie, is his magnum opus. Playing really, well, of what I've heard, he played a really despicable villain. Here he plays the anti-hero, so basically just on the other spectrum, but as intense, I'm guessing. So Vice Squad should be my next viewing. I'm gonna seek it out. They're not afraid to go for it violence-wise. In some scenes, like right after Stoney interrogates a witness in a church, the killer comes right in and strangles her while she holds her baby. So yeah, I wish I could have seen a cleaner version of Deadly Force, because I don't know if it was my VHS copy, but some scenes were very darkly lidded and I could barely see what was going on. So I'm hoping a good HD transfer will clean things right up. The soundtrack to this is the most 80s thing I've ever heard. I would see any soundtracks from the 80s is that way. Just big guitar solos mixed with Casio keyboards and an amazing closing credit song to boot. I totally dug it. There's some boobs if you're looking for that, but you'll see way more Hauser nakedness, especially in a bathtub scene where he gets machine gunned through a window from across the street. Lots of car chases as well. I wouldn't want it any other way in that kind of movie. Sure, there's a lot of old cop movie cliches, but it's all very enjoyable, so I didn't mind it. You do pretty quickly figure out who the killer is once he or she is introduced. The setup on why he or she does what they do is a bit convoluted, but it does sort of make sense. I like how at the end, how he or she taunts him for a good stretch until Stoney finally gets the better of him or her. It's him. All in all, I would definitely recommend it. It does deserve a Blu-ray release. Hopefully someone's watching this from a label. For any 80s action film fans out there, I'd say it's a must, especially if you like Wings Hauser. It would be a day one purchase from me. So that's it for my review of Deadly Force. If you like this, please like, share, and subscribe. Click on that tiny little bell so you'll never miss a new video from me. Also, go check out my Instagram feed at Grindhouse Funhouse, where I post on the daily. My Facebook page at Grindhouse Funhouse. My Twitter feed at Grind Funhouse. And I'm also on Tumblr at Grindhouse Funhouse. In the comments section, let me know about films only released on VHS you might know of that I should check out and possibly review. I already have a pretty good list, but I'm sure I'm missing quite a bunch I could check out. I'm always on the lookout for more like action, horror, or even comedy titles. Do let me know about them. So until my next video, I have about a dozen movies to see at Fantasia Film Festival happening right now in Montreal. Right after this, I'm actually leaving to go see a live conversation with Michael Ironside, he of Scanners and Total Recall and many other movies. Is our finest genre actor, Canadian genre actor out there. And also the closing movie for the festival this year is Mandy, that crazy looking Panos Cosmatos film Mandy with Nicolas Cage, who's in full cage rage mode. I am beyond excited to see that. So I want to thank you for tuning in. More video coming in the future. Until then, I bid you adieu for now.